Hi guys, welcome to Average Pundits, a weekly podcast for all things Premier League. My name is Joe Brody, sitting opposite me today is Reese Williams.
You're right, guys.
We are two journalism students just gone into our second year at the University of Worcester, and we are looking to establish a weekly football topical podcast. We're looking to get some guests on in the week. At the moment it's very early days. It's an exciting project we're looking forward to engaging in. I think it's going to be a good, exciting time, don't you think?
Exactly. We've got a new sort of life about us. It's something that we're both really passionate about. Both of our love for our select teams that we probably get to in a minute. And you know what? We'll just see what this brings. We're just doing it for the passion, and if it brings anything else, we will storm this right forward.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so first things first, let's have a little breakdown of the Premier League. What's happened this week, Reece?
So Friday's game. You had Southampton versus Bournemouth. The quite there's quite a lengthy rivalry there.
Yeah.
And Bournemouth absolutely stormed Southampton were quite poor, to be fair.
They again, I think for a long time they haven't been, in my opinion, Premier League standard anyway. They've scraped
100%.
on. They've scraped on.
Defensive display. Their defence was poor.
Yeah.
Southampton. That was what led to the third goal with Callum Wilson.
Yeah.
Defensive errors with the defender and the goalkeeper, and Wilson just had to place it in the net.
Yeah.
Saturday's games, the 21st, you got Newcastle and Brighton, which was a 0-0 draw.
Yeah,
Nothing really
quite
too much to. Yeah, it was quite non-topical, that game. It was a safe one for Newcastle to play.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, what they could do at this point, they've got the team. They just need to start winning games.
Yeah, I'd say so. They've got some good players in the works.
They do. They've got the Yollington. They've got Willems, Alan St. Maximin.
Yeah.
They've got quite a few decent players there that can be the foundations of a good team going forward. Everton versus Sheffield United. Now, this was a shocking game to see on Saturday. Sheffield United going to Goodison Park and beating them 2-0.
I mean, what a result for Sheffield.
100%.
What a result.
You've got a small team that have come up from the Championship and a team that's been well established in the Premier League for however long, plus 20 years.
Yeah.
In Sheffield United have just come to Goodison and just
done the job.
Yeah, exactly.
I think serious questions need to start being asked at Everton. Serious questions.
Yeah.
There was a really powerful picture I saw on the weekend. I think it was on The Guardian I saw. And it was silver out spray painted on one of the gates around Goodison, and like an Evertonian child imitating, kicking the fence. So yeah, I'm guessing feelings aren't too high around Everton right now.
Everton are I think he's on thin ice.
Yeah.
Burnley faced Norwich and beat them 2-0.
Yeah, good at him.
Surprising for Norwich to have not scored here.
Yeah.
But I guess that's Burnley and Sean Dyche's philosophy: just don't concede.
Yeah, I mean,
wherever it's boring play, or if he just goes out there and tries to win games.
Yeah, definitely. Good manager in that sense. I mean, Norwich 100%. As well. What a start to the season they had.
Yeah, they have Pookie.
Yeah.
They've got that Reece James at right back.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything stopping them from staying up.
No. At the moment, it's looking like they have just a really formidable chance.
Yeah, 100%. And then Burnley, they've got Ashley Barnes, who keeps scoring. There's no end.
Yeah, no stopping
to his scoring.
Yeah.
Which is fair play to Burnley.
Yeah.
They've got and then we've got Leicester, shockingly beating Spurs.
Yeah.
2-1.
I tell you what, James Maddison genuinely is looking like a real talent. Real talent.
See, when they first signed James Maddison, I thought, okay, he's going to be maybe a next Lallana or someone of that nature. He has come out of his skin.
So he poached him from under the nose, I think, of every big club going to Norwich.
Yeah, I reckon he was linked with some of the top 5-6 clubs.
Yeah.
And then he chose a small team in the East Midlands.
Yeah, I mean, fair play to him, fair play.
Harry Kane opened scoring.
Yeah, did you see the goal he scored as well?
He fell over.
Bizarre, isn't it?
He fell over, sort of knocked it with his foot, and slid past Schmeichel.
Yeah. That's credit to Harry Kane, and he's just again an elite striker.
100%.
Difficult goal to score.
Norwich had not Norwich.
See where are we at? Leicester.
Sorry, it's. I think the rain here in Worcester has affected my brain here.
Clouding the judgment.
Yeah.
But again, Leicester at the moment, genuinely, Rodgers and that team is a
Brendan
deadly
Rodgers
combination.
Brendan Rodgers is a class manager. I
He
never
is.
used to think. Obviously being the Liverpool fan I am, I always thought that Suarez helped us massively.
Yeah.
During that season where we came second and lost it. But give credit to Brendan Rodgers. He did well with Celtic. He's done well with. He's doing well with Leicester right now. He's a quality manager.
Yeah, he is.
There's no doubt about it.
He genuinely is.
But Leicester, they're third right now.
Yeah.
They
in the
are
league.
behind Liverpool, Manchester City. Can they keep up the momentum? I'm not sure, but they have the quality there. They've got Jamie Vardy.
Yeah,
they have James Maddison. They've got Damari Gray. Obviously, they lost Harry Maguire, but that doesn't seem to have fazed them in the slightest.
Not right now, no. I mean, they're still playing extremely well. They're playing like a team who have their head screwed on.
Yeah. Speaking of Harry Maguire, we'll go to West Ham versus Man United next. I think I will hand this over to you, as you are the expert of all things United.
Oh, mate. Where to start? Again, we just played awful. I mean, West Ham went there to win it. West Ham did go there for the goal. I mean, Yarmolenko straight away, just off the bat, just going straight in for the goal.
Yeah,
that
he went for the
Cresswell goal
jugular.
again. Great goal.
Cresswell's goal was beautiful.
It was great,
a
wasn't it?
peach.
Absolutely brilliant. I mean, the hardest thing in that game was Mata had that clear chance.
Yeah.
And it was just completely stifled. I mean, there are a lot of questions which need to be asked to the board, to the manager, to the players at Manchester United. It's a club in demise right now, and as a United fan, it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch. I mean, at the moment, it sounds really bad. We're kind of used to it right now, where we're used to kind of going out there and just thinking, where are the goals going to come from? I think that's my biggest worry right now. I'm looking at that team and I don't see goal scorers. I see people who have been affected by constant managerial and tactical changes. It's a topic which I'm sure is going to come up in the weeks to come. So it'll be something we can very heavily get into.
Yeah.
But all in all, fair play to West Ham.
Then we've got Arsenal versus West Ham.
What a game.
Oh, not West Ham. Aston Villa.
Aston
They
Villa,
both wear claret and blue.
They do both have claret.
They're both the same. Aston Villa went 2-1 up.
They did.
And then just Aubameyang happened.
3-2 though.
3-2. Brilliant.
I mean, Pepe getting on the score sheet finally.
Yeah, Pepe. He scored a penalty. Callum Chambers was a surprising one to see on the goal sheet. On the goal sheet.
That John McGinn at Aston Villa.
He is a quality player.
Baller. I mean, I remember seeing us linked. I mean, I think it was the Sun report that we were linked with John McGinn for around a 50 million fee.
50.
And 50, yeah. And I wrote that off. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, it's just nonsense kind of reporting. But then I'm looking at him now, and I'm genuinely thinking he's probably better than everything we've got right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a player.
I mean, fair play to Arsenal to to grasp and claw back. At Aston Villa. Like, you've got Callum Chambers with that. It was a fairly decent goal as well.
Yeah.
And then Aubameyang just pulling the dagger straight out and right into the hearts of the Villa fans that travelled all the way to London.
The newly promoted clubs are holding their own.
They are
now, putting some good performances in.
They are. They're doing very well. Speaking of a team that I thought was going to do well, Wolves. They actually drew 1-1 with Crystal Palace.
They're a really hard club to pin down, Wolverhampton. I mean, they can go to United and they can just embarrass them. I mean, that's not hard. But, and then you go up to a game like Crystal Palace where you'd expect them to go in and just kind of decimate, just do what they do.
Absolutely.
And there doesn't seem to be as much fire in them.
No. I mean, it came out to a last-minute winner, didn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, Leander Dendoncker, he was the one that scored the own goal.
Yeah.
Gave Palace the lead. And, I mean, all over this game, Adama Traore, he was creating chances for the Wolves.
Yeah.
Strikers, Jota, Jimenez, they were all being set up.
Yeah, I was only talking to him a couple of days ago with a friend. I mean, we were just saying he's a strange player, but his speed and his strength and his vision could turn him into something special.
Yes, he's just lacking that extra finishing aspect.
Yeah,
that is missing. That's it.
You tie that in, and you've got yourself an elite player.
He's one of the fastest. I think he's one of the fastest, if not the fastest player in the Premier League. Bar.
I wouldn't say you're far off thinking that, mate.
And then it came down to a Diogo Jota. Yeah, Diogo. 95th minute winner against Crystal Palace.
Yeah. Last minute excitement.
Exactly. And there was no games from from Monday, which was surprising. No Monday Night Football.
Yeah, no Monday Night Football.
But
you had Liverpool and Chelsea. That's one thing we haven't spoken about.
Oh yeah,
Liverpool, Chelsea. So
Liverpool and Chelsea.
Kind of that one skip.
And so yeah, Trent Alexander-Arnold coming in with
just a great player, isn't he?
He's brilliant.
Just a great
brilliant.
footballer.
I love him. Every time that I see him play, I'm like, he's just fantastic. He can play anywhere within the back line.
Yeah.
Maybe centre back, not so much, and then central midfield. He's a class player. Just to play anywwer.
I mean, that free kick routine was straight off the training ground.
Yeah,
straight off the training ground.
It was quality.
They knew what they were doing there. For Alexander-Arnold, I think it's exciting times, without a doubt, to be a Liverpool fan.
Yes. He's got so much potential. He is one of the star players of Liverpool, and he's, how was he, like 20 like early 20s.
Yeah.
He is a class player. He has potential to be future England captain, not just Liverpool captain, England captain.
What impressed me the most about him, again, I've spoken to this with friends a few times before, I genuinely believe, possibly apart from the exception of De Bruyne, arguably the best vision in the league.
100%. I mean, that corner against Barcelona is, it's
now the famous corner, just brilliant routine.
Who knows if it was planned on the training ground or just off the cuff that Arnold was ready to pass.
Yeah. A good win for Liverpool against a fairly tough opposition in Chelsea.
N'Golo Kante, brilliant goal. He's one of the best central midfielders in the world. There's no arguing.
Without a doubt.
I'd say 100% the best central defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
One of the best defensive-minded midfielders in the Premier League.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So it's class.
And then on to the final game
we had
to talk about. Wow.
Yeah, there's not much you can say about this other than demolition.
Yep.
I'm
Manchester
scared.
City.
I'm truly scared for our first place.
An 8-0 win over Watford.
Yeah,
absolutely incredible. And
first minute, David Silva.
First minute,
and then the penalty. It'll probably just be quicker just to go through all of the goals and how quickly they came.
Yeah.
So you have David Silva in the first minute, Aguero's penalty in the 7th, Riyad Mahrez in the 12th, Bernardo Silva in the 15th, 18th Otamendi, 19th Bernardo Silva. How many? That is so many goals in a short amount of time.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
So there was 6-0 up inside 20 minutes.
Yeah.
6-0. That is an insurmountable amount of goals.
I couldn't believe when I saw it because I wasn't watching the game. I checked the score on my phone. I had to double take. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I was busy at the time, and I looked. I had to be told. They were like, "Oh, have you seen the Man City score?" I was like, "No, what was it?"
Yeah.
I was waiting for match of the day, and they were like, "Oh, it's 8-0." I was like, "You've got to be kidding me, right?"
Crazy, isn't it?
I thought Watford were gonna, because they've got Decore,
Yeah.
Deulofeu, Troy Deeney.
Some really good players in their own right.
Yeah, exactly. They've got a great team,
but I mean,
they just have not been able to win a game yet.
It's interesting. Manchester City is going to be the topic of today's podcast. We're going to go in a little bit more detail about them. First things first, though, we do have a very interesting segment we're looking forward to establishing week in and week out called the Hype Train. Reese, I'll leave it to you to describe.
So, here we go. The Hype Train. We are ready for takeoff, and we are about to leave the station. So we have the carriages. We have 4 different carriages of the Hype Train. So we have poor, average, prospect, and world class. Now we will take players from our social media. So if you would like to suggest 3 players of your choosing for us to rate in the Hype Train, hit us on Instagram, give us a tweet. We will also open our email to if you've got any suggestions, or this will be going. You'll be currently maybe listening to this on YouTube, and you can leave a comment. So I have gone through the liberty of just taking a few players in the Premier League that either are of interest or not talked about enough. So no opinions. This is what it is an opinion, but it's not overrated or underrated. There's nothing like that. It's simple categories that we can put out a graphic each week to keep you updated on our opinions of these players. So, first player I'd like to start off with, Aston Villa's Wesley.
Okay, so summer signing.
Yes, he came from where did he? Was it Bruges?
Club Bruges, yeah, I believe so.
In Belgium. He's not the quickest of players,
No.
but he's very well built.
Very well built.
He has got strength. He can run for days,
Mm.
and he can also win a lot of aerial duels for them.
Yeah.
I mean, he scored against Arsenal.
He did.
Um,
I'd say for him, looking at the categories we've got looking at right now, I think I'd probably put him in the prospect kind of category.
yeah, I have him. I actually surprisingly have him as like an average,
Okay.
but because he's not quite. I'd say he's not quite young enough to be in the prospect. However,
Yeah.
there could be a lot of room to grow because I reckon after this season, teams will be looking like Everton's,
Yeah.
maybe Wolves, Leicester for those type of strikers to
Okay.
then move on from the Troy Deeneys and the older generation of strikers.
Over the years, a lot of tall, like kind of more like physical-based strikers in the Premier League. Talking about kind of the Islam Slamanis that
Yes.
came in at Leicester's. You've got Wilfred Bonney. A lot of these strikers, you know, they made a fair name for themselves in the Prem. Maybe they didn't reach the full heights which they could have done, but they bring an interesting dynamic to the game. So it'll be interesting to see where he comes in the following weeks.
He's a good player. He can score goals. He's the player that Villa needed to sign over the summer with that huge prize fund that they got from winning the playoffs.
Yeah.
The next player I'd like to bring in is Moussa Sissoko from Tottenham.
Okay. Interesting.
He's a player that is up in the air at Spurs.
Yeah,
I would say.
I would say when they signed him, it reeked of panic buy.
Yes.
Reeked of panic buy. It was such a strange transfer. I mean,
Newcastle
Newcastle got relegated,
Yeah,
didn't
they were going down.
And he was clearly too good a player to be at Newcastle. Whether he was good enough to be at Tottenham, I'm not too sure. But in recent games from last season, through the World Cup as well, and at the Euros and stuff like that, he really gave a name for himself. I feel like he kind of looked at himself in the mirror and thought, I'm going to need to put in some big performances if I want to get to where I want to get to in my career. So I think for Tottenham, he's come into his own. I'd put him in the probably average category.
He is
now.
He is average, but I'd say he's at the upper end of an average category. He's on his way to, if he keeps working and working and working, he could become what his new centre midfielder partner is in Dumbly.
Yeah, they've got.
They are two very different, very similar.
Yeah.
Players. They both got stamina. They both can run. They both can pass. They've got good vision.
Yeah,
and they're both very attacking minded.
He's in a team which gives him the space to grow as a player. He's with a manager which is very man focused. He likes to kind of like develop his own players and stuff like that. He likes to kind of create a good effect amongst the team. So I feel like Sissoko again could remain to be a staple in that team. Yeah, it'd be interesting again to see this season how much game time he gets. You know, and just see where he ends up.
Absolutely. And my next offering to the hype train is something that you can maybe dive into a little bit.
Yeah.
Marcus Rashford.
Marcus Rashford. The problem with Marcus Rashford. Okay. There's no doubt in my mind that he has the ability to be elite. But, and I briefly mentioned this earlier. Again, this is a topic when we talk about Manchester United in the week more in depth in the weeks to come. It's something I want to touch on. Excuse me. Marcus Rashford, I feel, has been affected by constant managerial and tactical changes. Same with Anthony Martial. I think it has serious detrimental factors to his confidence. I feel like his goal-scoring abilities are there, but I feel like in recent times, with a lot of stuff that's going on, it's just not there right now. A lot of managers may not even show him the time of day with the kind of performances he's been given. But for better or worse, Marcus Rashford is still amongst us. And I don't want him going anywhere. I want him to become what I think he can become.
It would be a shame for him to go maybe and do what Jadon Sancho did or Reece Nelson and go off to maybe Bayern Munich and show his talents there. But I think as a player, he's lacking the work ethic to become what he can. And I think as he gets older and the years go by, if he keeps up what he's doing now, he's not going to reach that potential of being a world-class player.
I do worry for him. I mean, right now, Manchester United have what we have. We have the tools we're given.
Yeah.
If you look at an international level, Marcus Rashford's going to continue to be selected. But right now, where he fits in that front line, that front starting line of Sterling, Kane and Sancho, I mean, they have just solidified themselves in. They have looked elite. So I'd worry for Rashford. I mean, I'm going to put him in that average category right now.
I would put him in the prospects because I think he's still at that young age where he has room to grow. If he puts in the work, I think he has the potential to be world class.
Yeah.
I'd say he's quite in limbo. He's not quite average because he does score goals.
Yeah.
There is a difference between, say, Marcus Rashford and Glenn Murray.
Glenn Murray.
I mean, I'd say Glenn Murray's an average striker.
Okay.
But because there's a certain aura around Marcus Rashford that he's quick.
Yeah.
He can dribble the ball and he can also finish. If he can continue and work on his strength, carry on his speed, work on his finishing, work on his attitude, and he can become one of the best players in United history.
I believe it's there. I believe the foundations are there, but whether it gets nurtured properly, we'll have to see.
Mm-hmm. My next offering, I don't think this player's talked about enough. Said Kolasinac.
A difficult one to place. I mean, I can say right off the get-go, I don't really rate him. I don't really rate him too much. When Arsenal signed him, I thought that was a terrific bit of business, getting him on a free from Schalke.
Yes.
I mean, he looked like an absolute unit of a player.
He's got a bit of speed about him.
Yeah.
He can put in a challenge, and also he's built. He is huge.
My problem with him is just his raw inconsistency.
Yeah.
But then again, though, that is a lot of that Arsenal team.
Oh, 100%. They failed to strengthen any of that back line other than Said Kolasinac's position.
Yeah.
I mean, if they could put Said at centre-back and replace Mustafi.
Possibly. I mean, Mustafi's the one who needs to leave that back line straight away. But in terms of him as a player, personally, I don't really think he's coming to his own at Arsenal. I think he'll survive the chopping block, and he could end up being at Arsenal for a while.
Yeah, he's
maybe
going to be
just a squad player.
He's going to be another Monreal type player
that
just survives and keeps on, keeps on sort of filling in the FA Cup.
Floats around in limbo.
Yeah, he won't get much game time, and he might get fed up though.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But he's on a decent enough wage to stay at Arsenal and not worry. Where are you thinking to put?
Again, for me, it's going to be in the poor, mate.
Poor? You know what? I was thinking average, but I think you've kind of persuaded me to put him in the poor category.
Yeah, for now.
Yeah.
Who we got next?
We have someone who has started to come into their own, kind of, at Chelsea. Tammy Abraham.
Yeah.
I think I didn't really rate him because I thought he's going to be a Dwight Gale. I thought he's going to be a championship level striker. I didn't expect him to come into this Chelsea squad where it's been so renowned to have strikers like Didier Drogba, Diego Costa, Fernando Torres.
These big names.
All of these quality players that have passed and Roman Abramovich has had to buy for upwards of 50 million. But Tammy Abraham, he surprised me.
I think this season, a really difficult one for Chelsea. I mean, obviously, bringing Lampard in, club legend, after a decent spell at Derby. It was a strange appointment, but one that's probably quite meaningful to the Chelsea fans. It's good to see Chelsea playing these young players. Obviously, Mason Mount, great player as well.
Yeah, brilliant.
And then Tammy Abraham, I feel like his goal scoring early on has been an extremely good look into what he can become. I think Chelsea need to put some faith in him now, and I think if they make him the starting striker, who knows where he can
Absolutely. I mean, this season he's got 7 goals already, and so I mean he's tall.
Yeah,
he's got a bit of muscle. He can hold the ball.
Very fast.
He's quick as well. He's so quick. He's got all the tools to be a Chelsea world class sort of player and drive this team forward. Yeah, because they've got Frank Lampard at the helm.
He's straight off the bat. I wouldn't jump to the gun and just say good straight away. I think he is a.
He's a prospect.
A prospect. He is a prospect.
He's 21.
Yeah.
So there's no way that he's going to, unless there is a career-threatening injury that breaks his leg, that prohibits him from playing football for an amount of time. The sky's the limit for Tammy Abraham.
Without a doubt.
The next player that I would like to bring to attention is Alain Saint-Maximin.
Okay.
Summer signing of Newcastle.
Yeah.
Um,
Looked at by a lot of clubs.
Indeed, and it was strange that he'd move to Toontown.
Yeah.
Again, he's a young player. He's 22 years of age, coming from Nice.
Yeah, Nice.
Who knows why he chose Steve Bruce?
I feel like the allure of the Premier League is just enough to bring in these
Yeah.
big names now. I mean, credit to the league we're in. I mean, we get to watch this football week in and week out, and I
Absolutely.
think Premier League fans are confident in their knowledge that the Premier League is the best league in the world.
Yeah.
I think I would agree. I'll put myself in that category.
Yeah, 100%. The Premier League is way better because it's less predictable than, say, the Spanish leagues, Italian league,
Yeah.
the French league especially.
Yeah.
Sort of, I'd say, I mean, maybe the top two at the minute, maybe this season, and the past season were sort of set, which is a shame because obviously you want that competition every single year. But I mean, obviously as a Liverpool fan, I'm not complaining.
I mean, it's the beauty of it is it's so unpredictable. I mean, right now maybe the number one and number two positions in the Premier League could be a little bit predictable, but the rest of it, I say it's anyone's game.
The other two positions in the top four, not secure at all.
No.
I think Arsenal, Spurs, Man United, Chelsea. Maybe if Wolves start getting into their stride, that'll probably come in another week. I'll push at Wolves, saying they have serious potential.
All credit to St. Maximin again for going to a club in the lower end of the Premier League, trying to make a name for herself. A lot of people did that. A lot of people have done that. So I mean, again, another prospect. Would you say?
100% prospect.
A lot to come. A lot to come.
Absolutely, he's a brilliant player.
Yeah.
And the last player, Man City, Leroy Sané.
A great player. Still injured,
Yes.
but again, off the bat, world class.
Hands down, absolutely.
World class.
Speed, dribbling.
Yep.
Has the mindset to take players on.
Yeah.
He is what Marcus Rashford could be.
He's such an exciting player to watch. Again, the barrels of talent which Manchester City have it's frightening.
Absolutely.
And someone like him, I mean, he's not even being played obviously through injury, and they clearly don't miss him right now.
No, they don't need him. They have so much depth in that team. They don't need him. I mean, okay, yeah, they could actually need him because if they had him, maybe they would be 6 for 6 right now.
Yeah, maybe he could have been that deal breaker in that Spurs game.
Exactly.
Maybe.
He could be the one to have broken down that Spurs defence.
Or possibly the Norwich game.
Or that one.
The upset.
Team of Pukki, what an absolute legend.
Yeah. But, are we both in agreement? World class there.
Absolutely. It's Leroy Sané. I think the only thing that's missing from Sané is his mindset. He's still young. Maybe he's got some maturity to do.
Yeah.
But obviously, that'll come with age. That'll come with experience of playing in the Premier League.
Yeah, definitely.
None of these fancy smanchy haircuts. None of these endorsement deals. Just focus on your football. Focus on. I mean, yeah, you get your endorsement deals while you can.
Yeah.
But just focus on being the best that you can.
Just watch where he can end up.
Yeah. I mean, he's already great, and he can be better. He can be one of the best faces of football on the planet.
Without a doubt. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed that little segment of the Hype Train. We're going to look to establish that every single week. As Reece previously mentioned, if you guys have any recommendations, drop us a tweet, get in contact with us on Instagram, or give us an email as well. The links to the emails will be on the Instagram and Twitter page as well. So our main brief, what we wanted to talk about today, after such an amazing weekend with the 8-0 win, we want to talk a little bit about Manchester City as a club. From last season going into this season, where they are, where they're going. We want to just go into a little bit more detail. So all in all, I think it's a pretty universal opinion that their team right now is just incredible.
As I just mentioned, the depth. Absolutely, the depth is incredible.
It is amazing.
As a Liverpool fan, holding that top spot in the Premier League currently, and obviously finishing behind them last season.
Yeah.
It's scary. Their team, like you say for last season, they were just shy of 700 passes per game. What other team can do that?
Amazing, isn't it?
The style of play is just. I mean, credit does go to Pep. I think he's a class manager.
Interesting. Okay, so that was something I was going to touch on. So you said early on, Pep is a class manager.
Pep is brilliant.
An amazing track record in terms of the clubs he's been at. But that is the argument, isn't it? Has he done this to the clubs, or has he just had the tools and he's just been at the helm, kind of reaping all the rewards?
I would like to see Pep Guardiola at a smaller club, something with a bit of a building block, like a Chelsea, like a Wolves, or maybe going out and maybe a Borussia Dortmund or Schalke, a smaller side that has potential to boost up and see if he can turn them into a title challenger.
I reckon a good little option for him in the future would maybe be going to Italy.
Italy, yeah.
You look at Conte, he's just gone to Inter Milan, Sarri at Juventus. Some big managers over in Italy.
Yeah. He could take over Roma.
Yeah.
And then create like a three-way title race between Sarri and
Conte
and himself. Have like a little trio. That would make that league way more interesting rather than just Ronaldo's team.
I mean, it would be a big step for him to go and do something like that. That would be where the questions start getting asked: is Pep actually this world-class superhuman manager? Because I mean, right now, you look at his track record, you look at the results he pulls in, and the passion he displays, and he has all of the components of a good manager.
Yes.
But I feel like it's very easy to criticise, isn't it? It's very easy to sit back and just think, mate, you've got the best team in the world, so what are you really doing?
And there's been rarely any displays that he hasn't had the best team in the world at every club that he's managed.
I mean, when he was at Barcelona. That Barcelona team was 2008, 2009.
He had Eto'o, Messi, Ronaldinho,
Xavi, Iniesta.
Yeah.
Arguably the best team of all time.
One of the best Barcelona teams that we've seen.
Yeah.
And then obviously that team just aged. So that team continued when he was at Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
He had Robert Lewandowski,
Thomas Muller, goals in.
Ribery, Robben.
Yeah.
Hummels for a bit.
Some really good players again.
Boateng. He had Philipp Lahm.
Yeah, Philipp Lahm.
Every single one of those players. Manuel Neuer, arguably at the time the best goalkeeper in the world.
Yeah, I'd agree.
He had all the tools to actually just go out and win. He won Champions Leagues. He won the Bundesliga.
Deutsche Pokal.
Yeah.
He won the Spanish domestic cups as well. I mean, looking at the Premier League stats for Manchester City last season, 38 games played and 32 wins, 4 losses.
Yeah.
95 goals scored, 23 conceded. Those are some good stats.
Clean sheets as well.
Yeah.
Look at that. Like Ederson was able to keep 20 clean sheets last year. That just shows the absolute solidity of their back four.
In terms of their goals, 95 goals last season in the Premier League. I genuinely believe they're going to beat that this season. I
hope not. But
already they're on 24 goals in 6 games, albeit 8 of those did come from that amazing win against Watford.
They're averaging 4 goals per game.
But I can name Premier League teams that I personally believe are worse than Watford, and if they're putting 8 past Watford, the lower half of the Premier League should be petrified.
Teams like Southampton, Aston Villa.
As for these newly promoted teams,
the newly promoted teams should be shaking in their boots.
Yeah,
but obviously Norwich are absolutely
put out of the bag. Timo Pukki,
exactly.
What a player!
Just from last season, they had 2.5 average goals per game, and they shot almost 40% on target.
It's crazy.
How many shots do they have to have? They almost had 700 shots in the season, and all of them on target were like 260.
Yeah, 89% pass accuracy on average for the season.
They've just got so many players with gifted vision, gifted passing ability. David Silva, Kevin De Bruyne. He did miss quite a bit. Well, not quite a bit, but like a little bit. Fair amount of last season. Yeah. But they had the ability for those players to fill in.
Yeah.
Like they had Gundogan as well.
Yeah.
The amount of depth in that team, it's surprising that none of these class players that are just sat on the bench are getting annoyed, because they're winning medals, they're winning trophies.
They're winning big money. That's the thing. One thing which surprised me over the summer was the signing of Cancelo from Juventus.
Yes, I think it's because Kyle Walker's getting to that age of Is he going to slow down soon? He's hitting his late 20s, isn't he?
I don't know. I'd probably still say right now he's probably the second best right back in the league. Based on recent performances, you can't not put Trent first.
Yeah.
And then Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Kyle Walker. I think Wan-Bissaka, I'm going to put on the record right now, as the best tackler in the league, and I genuinely believe that. That is a controversial statement, but based on what I've been seeing from early on this season, in a poor United team, he has been a rare gem.
Wan-Bissaka was a great signing for you guys.
Yeah.
In a dying back four, if you had not made any changes, if you had not signed him and Maguire, you would be way worse off. I'd say you wouldn't even get Europa League this season.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that, mate. But what I would say is that probably Kyle Walker, I'd still think is probably right now probably the second best in the league, with maybe Wan-Bissaka at the third.
Yeah.
I think Walker's experience of the Premier League, his speed, his dedication to the team, he throws himself into his challenges and his tackles.
Absolutely.
And he's versatile as well. He's rapid.
He's so rapid. He can shoot.
Yeah.
He can go the distance. He can dribble up and have a defensive like Fernandinho. He can cover.
So Cancelo signing, it didn't make too much sense to me in that sense, but I know what a good player he is, and I mean at the end of the day, on paper, that is a great signing.
Yeah, it is.
It only improves them, doesn't it?
60 million on a right back, essentially a backup.
A backup, or
that's how much money they have.
Yeah, but then again, 50 million went on Kyle Walker, so you're either going to have a 50 million backup or a 60 million backup.
Yeah,
unless they intend. I mean, at first I was kind of thinking maybe you were trying to convert Walker to a centre back, because he did play there for a bit.
He did, yeah.
Which, you know, in terms of the games and stuff like that, I wouldn't be particularly mad at. But I mean, who knows? I mean, it could be interesting to see. But
exactly,
their versatility, like you said, is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, at left back as well. Left back was a strange position for them.
Yeah, they obviously had Benjamin Mendy, who the season previous to last was injured for the entirety of it.
Yeah.
So last season, getting Benjamin Mendy back was basically a new signing.
Again, a player just plagued with injury, though. I mean, I think he really needs to they need to work out what's going on with him.
Yeah.
They re-signed Angelino.
They did.
They sold him, didn't they? They sold him, and then they re-signed him back from PSV. Had a really good season.
He did,
in the Eredivisie. So, I mean, it was a smart signing back. It was roughly about like 10.8 mil.
Yeah, around that, yeah.
You know, a good little signing. Again, whether he's going to be a main focus into that team. Obviously, we last season, the season prior, we've seen Delph and Zinchenko as left back position as well.
I'd say Zinchenko was quite a good little substitute, like you say, versatile.
Yeah, versatile
left back to just slot into the team whenever Pep needed him.
I mean, traditionally, he's a attacking midfielder, though.
He is.
So it's a crazy.
I mean, it just shows his dedication, because was it January transfers? Some team were after him, and he was like, "No, I'm not. I'm going to stay and fight for my place."
Yeah,
and that's exactly what he did. He fought for his place, and the latter end of the season, he had a prime place in the starting lineup of the Man City squad.
Yeah, definitely.
He was all over the place. He was brilliant last season. I can't floor any of Zinchenko's work from last season.
Yeah,
he helped them win the league.
I mean, what I would say, looking at all these amazing stats which City have, you mentioned earlier whether these world-class players that do sit on the bench get frustrated. I'm looking at one player in particular. I'm talking about Gabriel Jesus.
Yes.
I mean, you've got Sergio Aguero, who is arguably he just is one of the best strikers the Premier League has ever seen.
100%.
He will go down in that top 10 Premier League striker list.
I'd say top 5.
Top 5.
Aguero is.
He's
unbelievable.
He is a great player.
He scored. It was at the weekend. His penalty was his 100th goal at the Etihad, which
just
means
at the Etihad alone is
he scored a century at the Etihad.
That is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. How long has he been at City? Upwards of.
He's been. I think he might be their longest serving player right now.
Right now, yeah, 100%. But he's incredible.
Yeah. But Gabriel Jesus, I personally think he's no longer a prospect. He's ready.
No, he is.
He is ready to
shown
start
on the international stage.
Yeah.
Him, Roberto Firmino, and Neymar, they're all linking.
Yeah.
Jesus is ready to be that starting striker.
Yeah, he's ready.
And whether he goes off abroad, back to, I don't know, he might go to a huge team. He might go to PSG and start being the replacement for Edinson Cavani.
I could see numerous clubs being interested in him, and
Who wouldn't?
personally think that, I mean, Aguero is getting on in age, but he just doesn't seem to be slowing down.
No.
So I could understand his frustration. I mean, Gabriel Jesus does get plenty of game time, but that starting striker position, I think if you asked 9 out of 10 of Premier League fans, they would still tell you that's Aguero.
100%. Yeah, I would say. Yeah, Aguero is. It's just a shame that they can't find a spot for Jesus to slot in, or if he can slot in himself.
I mean, you look at Manchester United, for example. When we started to get all these strikers in, and we struggled to find positions for them. So what did we do? We pushed them to the wings.
Yeah.
And I mean, they may be able to play there, but at the end of the day, you don't sign a striker for 50 million in Anthony Martial, shove him out to the side. I mean, because look at what's happened to him. Look at what's happened to
Martial. He's a shell of his former self.
It's just confidence that goes. So Jesus needs to remain an out-and-out striker. Whether that's getting a move away, who knows?
I reckon that'd be the best move for him. I don't think I don't think there's anywhere in the Premier League that he can go. I don't think they'd sell him. No, not to the Prem. I think he's too good.
What are we talking? 70, 80, 90 million?
I'd say around 80. You'd probably say around 80 million for Jesus. Yeah. He is absolutely world class. You wouldn't sell him for anything less than that. I'd say even more.
Yeah, I mean, this big fee that we're talking about is the fee for a lot of that Manchester City team. Yes. I mean, obviously they paid a lot of big money to get these players in, but since they've been there, they're only going up in value. Their
stock is just every single or most players that go to Manchester City have one of the best scouts for international and English players ever.
Yeah,
they get these players and their stock rises.
A great system they've got right now.
Nicolas Otamendi, stock has risen. Fernandinho, he's come into his own.
Yeah.
And has become a staple of Man City's midfield.
I'd say their defensive issues right now. Obviously, they've got a lot of defenders out with injury right now.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't surprise me in January to see them spending a bit of money. I sort of saw a bunch of people poking fun at Twitter, like, are they going to go and spend 85 million? Are they going to spend 90 million to break that centre-back record?
Yeah.
But I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to be smart about it.
Yeah,
I think they'll get another good little bargain on their hands. But I reckon a defender could be expected to
come
in.
One, someone that's about to come into their own.
Yeah,
maybe someone that's not quite getting enough game time in another club. Say Kimpembe.
PSG.
PSG.
I mean, out in Europe, there are a lot of good options. I mean, in the Premier League alone as well, there's a couple poking around. They may go lower down the league and manage to poach someone. Who knows? But it wouldn't surprise me to see someone come in.
Nathan Ake.
Good player.
Very
good player.
I think Man City, if they could poach him and give him some game time, give him...
So that isn't exactly the kind of move I could see City making. Now you mentioned that.
Yeah, I'd say City signing him for 45 million. Because they're not scared to sign a centre back like that.
I heard Tottenham were poking around in the summer, but nothing came of it. But City and Ake, that sounds like something which could be on the cards.
Yeah, I mean, a Dutch player, another Dutch centre back that could be big money and a huge money move for Manchester City. He's too good for Bournemouth.
Oh, without a doubt.
I mean, that header he scored at the weekend.
Yeah, and an elite player. I mean, another example of a mistake I think Chelsea have made. I mean, so many players they've let go through the cracks over the years, but a great player which could slot into that City team.
Yeah. Their midfield is flawless.
Yeah.
David Silva, Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne.
Although David Silva's last season at Manchester City, or is he just going to be running out of contract?
I think it's his last season. He might sign another one, but he might want to venture outside and see what else he's got left. Maybe he wants to retire in, I don't know, Saudi Arabia. Excuse me.
Yeah. I mean, a phenomenal player again. We've been blessed to see in the Premier League for so long.
Oh, he's brilliant.
But I mean, all in all, right now, Manchester City, the question which I'm going to pose to you, are they going to win the league, yes or no?
No.
And you believe that?
For so long.
Is this the fan talking, or is it...
For so long, I've said that Man City will just cakewalk us. I have a belief this year. I can't not after the Champions League final.
I mean, right now, you are looking incredible. What was it, last season, wasn't it a point?
Yeah.
Which divided you. You had your best ever season tally and still lost by a point, which must have been heartbreaking.
Oh, it was.
But
it absolutely was.
I think most Premier League fans are kind of saying again it's going to be a Liverpool Manchester City kind of race.
Well, is that right now? But they've lost a game.
Yeah,
they've done what we did last season. We haven't lost a game yet. We haven't drawn a game yet. We haven't dropped any points.
No, you haven't.
We are 5 points clear at the top of the table right now.
And what a position to be in like this early on. I mean, Man City just got rocked a little bit.
Man
early.
City are scoring the goals. They've got a bigger goal difference. They're beating us by 6. However, eight of those came against Watford.
Yeah.
We go out and we perform. Our front three is a gel that you can't break. You talk depth. We got Divock, Origi.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of teams, this might be one of the best like team duels of Premier League history. Manchester City and Liverpool. Like, this wasn't a rivalry 10 years ago.
No, it wasn't. I'd argue it wasn't really a rivalry 5 years ago.
No. But now, I get exactly, because of 10 years ago, the position that City are in, they have just been taken over, buying in Robinho and Morgan Gammas-Pedersen. Whereas we, 5 years ago, were under Kenny Dalglish and we were rebuilding.
Yeah.
So both of us in a stage, we've both rebuilt to this point. Not even, I don't think, the 2005s where Chelsea and Man United were going at it. I don't think those teams compare to the Manchester City and Liverpool teams.
I'd say it's difficult. I mean, I've grown up seeing a lot of different Manchester United teams. The highlight of front three back in the day of Tevez, Rooney and Ronaldo was an incredible time to be United fan, incredible time. But right now, like you mentioned, Man City and Liverpool right now, they're just different gravy. Yeah. They're in a complete league of their own right now. So it's going to be an exciting season again, I would say.
Absolutely. I can't. It is the fan in me saying that I really want us to win the Premier League. But again, there's always the doubt.
Yeah.
Every single season there's the doubt, and I don't like to be that fan that says that we're going to win it. But I can't help but believe this year that we got to.
At some point, do you reckon you're going to peak? Do you reckon there's going to be a top of the mountain and then maybe a little bit of a hindrance?
There is for every team. United is now. Chelsea's is now. Arsenal's was a couple seasons ago, and they're on the up now. Give it 3 or 4 seasons. Both Chelsea and United are going to be on the up. It's only a matter of time before we go back down, and I reckon that starts with the departure of a few players. Virgil van Dijk, for instance.
Still hasn't signed that contract, an extension, has he? I mean, an extension is yet to come.
Yep. I think he's just saying I reckon he wants to win the Premier League. If he doesn't win that this year, he might go.
Possibly. I mean, realistically, in my opinion, the only place I see him going to is Real Madrid. In my opinion, I don't see anywhere else which is coming from. I mean, are you really going to sell him to? I mean,
we won't sell him in the Premier League.
I would say the only club we would be able to even go for him would be Man City anyway. I'd say, and there's no way that's going to happen.
We'd up the price completely. We'd probably say, City, you want to sign him? 200 million, please.
Yeah.
So, I think that with Man City, they've got all the tools to win the league, but again, injury problems.
Yeah.
Kevin De Bruyne was out last season. Is it going to affect him this season? Benjamin Mendy. Leroy Sané's out. Could Aguero pick up a knock because he is getting older? The defensive back lines are, they're sort of tearing to pieces at the minute, and it's only a matter of time before we take a big enough leap this season to overtake them and maybe we're 5 points ahead of them right now.
Yeah. We
could push that and maybe go for, 10 points. 10 points ahead of City, maybe at Christmas. We could. I said that last time that we were 10 points at the top of the league at Christmas, but
it'll be an interesting dynamic to look forward to this season.
Absolutely, I cannot wait to talk about it.
Well,
and
last thing we've got to do before we wrap up today's podcast, we're going to do a few predictions based on next week's games.
Yeah, we will. So let's get to it.
First game you've got, which I want to talk about quickly, Liverpool and Sheffield. I think that's pretty much, in my opinion, that's going to be a nice little easy win for Liverpool.
Yeah, I would say Liverpool. I don't think we could. The only problem is, Adrian has been a very good fill-in for Alisson.
Yeah.
Which sort of I always go like, oh, we might concede a goal now, because I'm used to Alisson now, and to go down and you see how bad Mignolet and Karius were.
Yeah.
There's just a step above. I think we will win. There's no way we can't. It's Sheffield United.
I mean, personally, I'm going to put 3-0 Liverpool on that one.
I will go 4.
4-0?
I'm going to go 4-0 to Liverpool on that one.
What are we talking about? Crystal Palace and Norwich.
I
Personally, I think I fancy Norwich in that game.
Crystal Palace.
That's going to be a pretty tough, even out game. But I reckon that's going to be a goal which breaks it. I'm going to say 1-0 Norwich.
I say, it's a tough one because Palace are on a roll. They've just drawn with a pretty decent side in Wolves.
Yeah.
And Norwich have just taken a 2-0 defeat.
Yeah.
It's momentum that lies with Palace, and it's also at Selhurst Park.
Yeah.
Will Zaha perform? They've got Schlupp, who is also having a pretty good season. Palace, without Wan-Bissaka, are actually having a very good season. I say it's going to be I think 2-1 to Crystal Palace.
2-1 Palace, okay. Aston Villa Burnley. Another claret and blue derby.
Indeed, more teams for me to get confused at.
That again will be a tough game. It's one of those ones which I don't really know who I can pick a favourite of that one. I think we may see a draw.
I was thinking the same thing. However, Burnley, they're sort of
coming off the back of a 2-0 win.
Yeah, I mean that was at home though. They don't really perform that greatly away from home. I think Burnley are going to have this one, and play it safe. They're not going to mess around with the ball, as they never do. They won't concede. I reckon they'll play it safe and go 1-0.
1-0?
Yeah.
I'm going to call a 0-0 on that one, I think, in my opinion. Bournemouth West Ham.
Again, West Ham are on a roll.
Yeah.
West Ham are brilliant. They got Haller, who's also he was a fantastic summer signing for them. Something that they needed after the departure of Arnautovic.
Yeah, I think given this season, hopefully he finds some kind of consistent form for them. He could make a really good name for himself there.
Coming off the United win as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Both of these teams are carrying momentum.
Yeah.
Bournemouth with Callum Wilson, and the 3-1 win.
Yeah.
West Ham beating United. Both of them, I think West Ham, away from home, is going to struggle.
I think if I had to put anything on it, it'll be a tough game to call. I think it may be 2-1 West Ham, to be fair. I mean, like you said, away from home it'll be difficult, but I reckon that momentum against a club like United, I reckon that's going to give them a bit of a boost.
I hate to do this, but I'm going to agree with you. Exactly.
Yeah.
2-0. 2-1 West Ham.
Yeah.
100% agree.
Wolves Watford.
Now, this should be an easy prediction based on last season. But this season, both teams have struggled. I think Wolves at home at the Molineux will beat Watford.
I reckon they'll do it too. It may not be at the same level and class as the Man City win, but I reckon a good little 2-0 win at home. Something like that, I think.
Going to do a 1-0 to Wolves.
1-0 to Wolves.
Because I don't think they've got the goal scoring down nailed to a T yet.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Tottenham Southampton.
I think Spurs. I mean, actually, Spurs aren't that prominent this year.
I mean, they've struggled. They've fluctuated, haven't they? I mean, getting points in an amazing game like the City game, and then succumbing to the defeat they suffered against Leicester. I mean, it's a really weird thing. It's hard to place them at the moment. Hard to place a lot of the top six, but Tottenham Southampton, I can't see anything but a win for Tottenham there.
I think Tottenham are. Southampton aren't on a level with Spurs. Leicester had an argument to say that they are. Southampton are nowhere near. Yeah. I'm going to say it's going to be 2-0 Tottenham.
2-0 Tottenham. You know, I'm going to agree with you there, mate. 2-0 Tottenham. I reckon that sounds like a good little bet. Chelsea Brighton.
Brighton. I have actually tip them to go down.
I think that's going to be one of the options this season. I reckon they are going to go down.
And for Mason Mount, Tammy Abraham's form, I can't say anything but a Chelsea winner.
3-0 for Chelsea for me.
I'm going to go 2-1 because I could see Brighton getting a small goal against
see a goal coming.
Yeah.
Everton and Manchester City.
Well, after our topic, I doubt we'll be picking Everton here.
Yeah. I don't see much going on for Everton right now. I think Silva is probably going to have, like I said a bit earlier, some questions asked about him.
Yep.
And I think that game, although that's a game which, I think the board are going to understand is a struggle, I think that's going to be a tough one for Silva to come back from again. So, in terms of that one, maybe Everton may scrape a goal, maybe like a Richarlison may be able to knock something in, but a 3-1 City win is what I'm
They just need to
call.
start Moise Keane.
They do.
Moise Keane is not getting the game time.
No, and that's shambolic. A player that they signed him. What a name as well. But 3-1 to me, I'm going to say.
I am going to say 3-0.
3-0 to Man City.
Man City.
Leicester Newcastle.
I
think this is going to be a really good game. I think this will be a genuinely exciting game. I think Leicester again would probably go into that game the favourites, but Newcastle. When they scraped that win against Tottenham, it wasn't exactly nice football.
No.
It was very scrappy, but they did it, and I think that could be a lot of the way Newcastle get their points this season.
I think I would say a draw, but I'm gonna say 3-2 to Newcastle.
Wow. Okay. Big
because I don't know. I really like Newcastle for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a gut feeling. I think Newcastle can pull it out the bag.
I'm going to call that one a 1-1 draw. I think it will be an exciting game. I think it will be a tough game, but I think it'll be a 1-1 draw. Leicester, a bit like Wolves, they're this team which is so close to that next level of football, but they just fluctuate so rapidly. And then finally, arguably one of the best games of the weekend, if not the best game of the weekend, is
probably
Manchester United Arsenal. Two clubs in
10-0 Arsenal.
Two clubs in limbo right now. I think going into that game, Arsenal are going to be the favourites. Both clubs don't really have too much going for them right now, but I would say Arsenal are going to go into that game the favourites. I'm reluctantly going to predict a 2-1 Arsenal win.
What I've written down is a 2-1 Arsenal win, because whenever you see Man United on Sky Sports, you always see against big teams, Man United score.
Yeah.
Against us score.
Yeah.
But I don't. Aubameyang's I'd say he's in the twilight end of his career, sort of.
Good form.
He's hitting his peak. He's peaking and he's about to dip off. But Aubameyang he's too good at the minute. Nicola Pepe, Guendouzi as well. They've got a good. I just think the back line is not enough to stop a Marcus Rashford.
That's where I'm hoping. Daniel James especially, I can see him causing a lot of problems there. Whether it be we gain it through free kicks. I have no doubt in my mind that this season Daniel James could end up being the most fouled player in the league.
Yeah.
His speed and his size just leads him to an absolute room of chaos.
Yeah.
But I would say a 2-1 Arsenal win, I think, is what I'd go into that thinking that's going to happen just based on our recent form. But as always, I'm hoping the boys surprise me. I will be wearing my colours, as I always do. So I hope to be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. So how are we going to do this? I think we're going to do this head-to-head.
Yeah.
So every week we will wrap up the games that have actually happened and see our results. If we get the winner of the game right, that's a 1 point. If we get the exact score, that's an extra 2. So if say I get Liverpool 4-0, I get 3 points. Joe gets 1 point for getting the correct team to win. And at the end, we will see who is the winner of predictions, the ultimate predictor at the end of the Premier League. And week 1 starts now.
Yeah, although we didn't start from the very start of the Premier League as a hindrance, we come back to university and everything. It's always a bit of a minefield.
Week 7.
But as of now, we are going to start, and at the end of the season, we will see who leads victorious. At the end of every at the end of every week, when the Monday Night Football game's been played and we've got all the results tied in, we will put a little update on our Instagram profile, and we will see who is in the lead for that week. But at the end of the day, I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode of Average Pundits. We will see you extremely soon. I hope you enjoy the weeks of football. Thank you very much.
And also, as we wrap up, don't forget to go check out our social medias: Twitter at Pundits Average, Instagram just Average Pundits, and also you'll be watching this on YouTube. So just please subscribe, like, and tell us what you think. Also, we will put up a Instagram story when this goes live to see if you would like any players going on the hype train, and any players would be absolutely helpful for us to debate about. That would be absolutely fantastic. So let us know what you think, and feel free to critique. We're all open to criticisms, really.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you very much, and we will see you guys next week.